The Indus Valley civilization, nobody actually knew that it existed until it was accidentally discovered while a railway was built.
In the heart of India, scientists uncovered a colossal hidden marvel buried deep beneath the Earth's surface for ages. This astonishing discovery has left experts awestruck, unraveling mysteries that challenge our very understanding of history and civilization. What mystery lies undiscovered beneath its ancient streets? Join us as we unveil the secret of this huge structure that has suddenly gone underground. Mohenjo-daro. Mohenjo-daro, situated in the Sindh province of Pakistan, is an important ancient site from the Indus Valley Civilization, also known as the Harappan Civilization. Its name, meaning Mound of the Dead in Sindhi, hints at the intriguing mysteries buried within this ancient city. It provides a unique glimpse into one of the world's earliest urban societies. Discovered in 1922 during a broader archaeological survey of the Indian subcontinent by Sir John Marshall and his team at the Archaeological Survey of India, Mohenjo-daro was initially thought to be a Buddhist religious mound by R.D. Banerjee. Further exploration revealed the extensive remains of an ancient city that predates any known Buddhist settlements. These remains included advanced urban features like baked brick structures, indicating a highly developed civilization. Major excavations began in 1924 under Marshall's leadership, assisted by his deputy, Ernest Mackay. They uncovered a well-planned city layout with efficient drainage systems, brick houses, granaries, and public baths, all signs of a highly organized society. Their excavation methods, involving systematic trench digging in a grid pattern, provided a clear understanding of the city's structure. Marshall's focus on photography and detailed field notes ensured accurate documentation of their findings. Among the most notable discoveries was the Great Bath, suggesting its use for ritual or ceremonial purposes. Additionally, an advanced sewage system highlighted the city's sophisticated urban planning and sanitation practices. After the partition of India in 1947, Mohenjo-daro became part of Pakistan. In the following decades, from the 1950s to the 1960s, Pakistani archaeologist Dr. Ahmad Hassan Dani led new phases of excavation. His work was crucial in uncovering deeper layers of the city and exploring residential areas that had not been studied before. Mohenjo-daro is now recognized as a lost civilization, accepted by archaeologists in recent years, known as the Indus Valley Civilization. Later excavations focused on understanding the daily lives of its inhabitants. Numerous artifacts such as pottery, tools, and ornaments provided insights into their daily activities, trade practices, and cultural aspects. As archaeological techniques advanced, modern methods like stratigraphic analysis were employed to more accurately date the city's layers. There was also a strong emphasis on using refined conservation techniques to preserve delicate artifacts and building materials discovered during the excavations. From the 1970s onward, efforts primarily shifted toward preserving the site's integrity. Mohenjo-daro faced threats from salinity, waterlogging, and material deterioration. Recognizing its historical significance, Mohenjo-daro was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1980. This international recognition attracted attention and funding aimed at safeguarding this ancient city, providing a valuable glimpse into early urban life. Continuing from interesting discoveries and efforts to preserve, the city layout and buildings of Mohenjo-daro are truly impressive, showing a high level of skill and size that is surprising for its time, roughly between 2600 BCE to 1900 BCE. As a key center of the ancient Indus Valley civilization, this city offers deep insights into early city planning and buildings that have lasted for thousands of years. Mohenjo-daro covered at least 1.5 square kilometers, with some guesses suggesting it might have been over 5 square kilometers at its largest, making it one of the biggest cities of its time. The city was carefully organized with a grid system dividing it into a lower town and a citadel area. Streets running north-south and east-west neatly divided the city into well-organized blocks, showing the urban planner's clear understanding of design principles. Residential blocks were carefully designed to ensure they looked the same from the outside, and had direct access to drainage along the streets, showing a controlled approach to city development and following local rules. This knowledge, saved and passed down through time, shows the city's forward thinking. The city's drainage system was very advanced for its time. Each house was connected to a street drainage channel through small drainage holes, a system that showed early skill in sanitary engineering. These drains, made from baked brick and gypsum mortar, had manholes at intervals for cleaning, technical features that would fit. In ancient Mohenjo-daro, situated in a bustling city much like today's urban centers, buildings were mainly made using sun-dried and fired mud bricks. For structures like baths and drainage systems, baked bricks were preferred to withstand moisture better. The city's architectural diversity was striking, ranging from small single-room homes to grand multi-story buildings, showcasing a society with varying levels of wealth and status. A typical Mohenjo-daro house featured a central courtyard surrounded by rooms, designed to let in light and air, ensuring pleasant living spaces. Some houses even reached 2 or 3 stories high. The uniformity in brick size, typically measuring 7 by 14 by 28 centimeters, hints at a well-organized system for producing and distributing building materials. Most construction materials were sourced locally, taking advantage of the abundant clay in the Indus region, perfect for making bricks. However, larger stones used in public buildings might have been brought from farther away. Comparing Mohenjo-daro's urban planning and architecture with that of ancient Egypt during the same era reveals intriguing contrasts. While Egyptians focused on monumental structures like pyramids made from large stone blocks quarried from distant places like Tura and Aswan, Mohenjo-daro excelled in creating a functional urban environment that emphasized civic amenities and residential comfort. Building upon Mohenjo-daro's sophisticated urban planning and architecture, the archaeological site also boasts remarkable artifacts that provide insight into the cultural and technological advancements of the Indus Valley civilization. As time passes, we expect to find more physical evidence of this. One such remarkable artifact is the Dancing Girl, a captivating bronze figurine standing just over 10 centimeters tall. It portrays a young girl in a lively pose, with one hand on her hip and the other casually hanging by her side. What makes it truly remarkable is the intricate detail, from the delicate jewelry adorning her to the meticulously styled hair, reflecting an advanced sense of beauty and craftsmanship of that era. This small statue isn't just a piece of art, it showcases the sophisticated metalworking skills of its time. It's one of the rare metal artifacts discovered at Mohenjo-daro. Another significant find is the Priest King statue, a small steatite sculpture standing approximately 17.5 centimeters tall. It depicts a seated male figure dressed in an intricately engraved robe, wearing a headband that likely once held a feather or ornament. The sculpture's serene expression and meticulously groomed beard suggest high social or religious status. Some scholars interpret it as symbolizing idealized leadership or divine authority, blending political and religious power. While it may not represent a specific individual, it highlights the artistic and symbolic depth of ancient civilizations. Arguably, the most architecturally impressive discovery at Mohenjo-daro is the Great Bath, centrally located on the Citadel Mound. This large pool, approximately 12 meters by 7 meters and 2.4 meters deep, was constructed using finely fitted bricks sealed with a layer of natural tar, an advanced waterproofing technique for its time. The Great Bath at Mohenjo-daro is thought to have been used for special cleansing ceremonies that reflected the civic and religious customs of the Indus people. This structure was cleverly supplied with water from a well, and a nearby drain allowed for the bath to be emptied and cleaned, showcasing advanced water management skills. Comparing it to Roman baths offers fascinating insights. Like Mohenjo-daro's bath, Roman baths were central to both social gatherings and religious practices, going beyond mere cleanliness. Roman baths, however, were more complex, with different rooms offering various temperatures and technologies like steam baths and underfloor heating, highlighting their sophisticated engineering. One intriguing theory about Mohenjo-daro's importance in the Indus Valley civilization is the hydraulic hypothesis. This suggests the city is a religious hub, coordinating a vast system of irrigation canals. This theory proposes that the city's leaders held significant political and religious authority, crucial for managing water resources vital for agriculture in their dry environment. The Ajanta Caves, located in the western Ghats of Maharashtra, India, the Ajanta Caves are a stunning group of ancient rock-cut monuments dating from the 2nd century BCE to around 480 CE. These caves are well known for their beautiful paintings and sculptures, which are considered masterpieces of Buddhist religious art. Discovered in 1819 by John Smith, a British soldier who found them while hunting tigers, the caves amazed him with their detailed carvings and colorful paintings. Smith's accidental discovery brought global attention to the caves, leading to extensive archaeological studies and efforts to protect them. The Ajanta Caves consist of 30 separate caves, each used as either a monastery or a temple for Buddhist monks. These caves were carefully carved into a cliff shaped like a horseshoe along the Wagara River, using natural rock formations to create a magnificent architectural group. The effort needed to build these structures is truly impressive, showing a mix of artistic talent and engineering skills. Inside the caves, the walls and ceilings are decorated with murals showing various stories of the Buddha's previous lives, stories known as Jataka tales. These paintings depict scenes from the Buddha's life, his teachings, and Buddhist beliefs about the universe. The use of bright colors, detailed designs, and expressive figures highlights the remarkable artistic accomplishments of that time. The paintings on the cave walls not only make them beautiful, but also teach important lessons about Buddhist beliefs and teachings. Alongside the paintings, the caves have many sculptures, like life-sized statues of Buddha, bodhisattvas, and other religious figures. These sculptures are carefully made, capturing small details and subtle expressions. The artist's skill and dedication are clear in every sculpture, each showing the spiritual essence of Buddhism with grace and calmness. The caves can be divided into two main groups based on when they were built. The older caves, from the 2nd century BCE to the 1st century CE, are simpler in structure and decoration. In contrast, the newer caves, built from the 5th century CE onwards, are more detailed and beautifully decorated, showing how artistic and architectural techniques changed over time. One of the notable features is the chaitya halls, large arched spaces made for group worship. Each hall usually has a stupa at one end. Cave 26 is remarkable for its large stupa and a big reclining Buddha statue symbolizing his final nirvana after death. This cave is famous for its detailed carvings and the size of its main chamber, which is about 25 meters long, 15 meters wide, and 11 meters high. The stupa itself is the main focus, inspiring respect and devotion among worshippers. Viharas, rectangular halls where monks lived, are also common. These halls have small rooms carved into the walls for monks to sleep and meditate. Central pillars support the roofs of these buildings, often with detailed carvings that show how rich the art of that time was. The first cave of Vihara is renowned for its stunning paintings that tell stories from the life of Buddha and other religious themes. This cave is approximately 35 meters long, 20 meters wide, and 15 meters tall. Inside, you'll find intricately adorned pillars and a shrine featuring a seated Buddha. The Ajanta caves are richly decorated with pillars, reliefs, and elaborate facades that not only please the eye, but also reflect the religious and cultural ideas of the time they were created. The detailed carvings often depict tales from the Jataka stories, which recount Buddha's past lives, along with various gods and symbolic designs. These caves were carved out of volcanic basalt rock from the Deccan Plateau. The stone blocks used for construction varied greatly in size and weight, with some of the larger sculptures and architectural features weighing several tons. Artisans quarried the basalt using basic tools like chisels, hammers, and picks. They cut grooves into the rock face and carefully removed stone blocks, allowing them to directly carve the caves and sculptures in place on the rock face. Creating the detailed carvings in these ancient caves required extreme accuracy, achieved through careful planning and execution. This highlights the advanced skills of the ancient craftsmen. Since the caves were carved directly into the cliff face, there was little need to transport large stone blocks over long distances. However, removing smaller stones and debris from the caves required a lot of manual work. Workers likely used baskets, sleds, and simple pulleys to carry out the dug-up material. This construction process was very hard and needed the coordinated efforts of many people over several years. Excavating the Ajanta caves involved removing an enormous amount of basalt rock. It is estimated that around 200,000 to 400,000 cubic meters of rock were taken out to create these elaborate cave structures. This massive excavation took centuries and showed the dedication and skill of the craftsmen and workers involved. One idea about the disposal of the excavated materials suggests that the debris was dumped into the Waghur River, which flows beneath the cliffs. The river would have carried away the smaller fragments, while larger pieces might have been used to create terraces or platforms around the cave complex. This would have helped with construction and provided scaffolding support. This natural disposal method helped manage the huge quantities of waste material generated during the excavation process. An interesting comparison can be made between the Ajanta caves and the Ellora caves, also located in Maharashtra. Both are rock-cut cave complexes, but while Ajanta primarily focuses on Buddhist themes, Ellora features a mix of Buddhist, Hindu, and Jain monuments. This variety of themes adds to the richness and historical importance of these ancient sites. The Konark Temple at Ellora is a fascinating example of rock-cut architecture. This temple was carved out of a single massive rock, making it particularly remarkable. Just like the Ajanta caves, the amount of rock removed at Ellora is astounding, about 200,000 tons. This comparison showcases the incredible techniques and grand scale of ancient Indian rock-cut architecture, highlighting the impressive engineering and artistic skills of that era. At the Ajanta caves, archaeological excavations have uncovered a treasure trove of artifacts and inscriptions. These findings give us a deep understanding of the lives of the Buddhist monks who lived and worshipped there. The discoveries offer a vivid glimpse into the social, economic, and religious life of that time. Among the most significant finds are inscriptions written in ancient scripts like Brahmi and Devanagari. These inscriptions are full of historical information, revealing details about the people who funded the construction of the caves. Patrons included kings, merchants, and monks who wanted to earn religious merit and support the spread of Buddhist teachings. For instance, an inscription in Cave 26 mentions a local king named Upendra Gupta who sponsored the construction of several caves. These inscriptions show that people from different social classes were involved in creating the caves and provide dates and context for the construction phases. Other artifacts found at Ajanta include pottery, tools, and coins. The pottery shards suggest that monks carried out everyday activities like cooking and storage. Tools like chisels and hammers made from iron were used to carve the intricate sculptures and architectural details. Coins from various periods provide evidence of the trade and economic activities in the region, reflecting its prosperity and connectivity. A fascinating comparison can be made between the Ajanta caves and the Mohenjo caves in China, also known as the Caves of the Thousand Buddhas. Both sites are significant for their vast collections of Buddhist art and their roles as important centers of pilgrimage and monastic life. The Mohenjo caves, located near Dunhuang on the ancient Silk Road, were carved into the cliffs of the Gobi Desert. These caves are filled with an incredible variety of murals, sculptures, and manuscripts dating back from the 4th to the 14th centuries. While the Ajanta caves are famous for their colorful murals and detailed sculptures, the Mohenjo caves are especially known for their extensive collection of manuscripts. Among these manuscripts is the famous Diamond Sutra, which is one of the oldest printed books in the world. Both the Ajanta and Mohenjo caves show how Buddhism spread and adapted to different cultures and places. They display a wide range of artistic and religious expressions within the Buddhist tradition. Comparing these two sites is the shared heritage of Buddhist art and the unique regional styles that developed over time. The mysteries of Hampi, Where the Tunga and Bhadra rivers meet stands Hampi, the grand capital of the old Vijayanagara Empire. Back in the day, around the year 1300, Alauddin Khalji invaded the Devagiri kingdom and kept pushing further south. This attack threatened the ancient Indian culture and spiritual teachings. In response, several kings joined forces to fight back. It was during this time that the Vijayanagara kingdom was founded to protect and promote India's ancient culture and philosophies. A wise sage named Vidyaranya played a key role in establishing this empire. During their rule, art and literature thrived, old temples were renovated, and new ones were built. The main attraction in Hampi was, and still is, the magnificent Virupaksha temple. This towering temple, dedicated to Lord Shiva, existed long before Hampi became the Vijayanagara Empire's capital. The temple is special because it features a Swayambhu Linga, a self-manifested symbol of the infinite, which legends say has been around forever. Hampi's history is much older than the Vijayanagara Empire. It has roots that stretch far back in time, making it a place of great historical and cultural significance. Hampi, a place of great historical and mythological significance, is mentioned in ancient texts like the Ramayana and the Puranas of Hinduism as Pampadevi Tirthakshetra. In the Ramayana, Hampi was known as Kishkinda, where the brothers Rama and Lakshmana met Hanuman and his army. A few kilometers away from the more crowded parts of Hampi is Malyavanta Hill, a peaceful and less touristy spot because of its secluded location. On top of this hill stands the Sri Malyavanta Raghunatha Temple, which is dedicated to Lord Rama. According to the Ramayana, it is believed that Lord Rama and Lakshmana camped here twice, once with Sita during their exile, and again while waiting for Hanuman and his army to join them before heading to Lanka. This temple is incredibly ancient. While the Vijayanagara kings built the temple premises, the innermost sanctum, known as the Garbhagraha, is centuries older than the Vijayanagara Empire. A unique and remarkable feature of this temple is that people chant the Ramacharitra Manas here continuously, day and night, every day of the year. The temple never closes. Another fascinating story linked to this hill is that Rama worshipped Shiva here in the form of a self-manifested Swayambhu Linga. Indeed, there is an ancient shrine dedicated to Lord Shiva a few meters away on the hilltop. Additionally, there's a small stream of water running through a crack in the rocks. According to legend, Lakshmana shot an arrow into the boulders to create this stream, which never dries up, not even during the hottest summer. The river called Lakshmana Tirtha has a famous history. It's said that Rama used its water for ceremonies while meditating on Shiva. Even today, you can see the detailed carvings of sacred bulls, Nandis, and symbolic representations of Shiva, Shiva Lingam, on the nearby rocks. In Hampi, old and unique temples are still being found. One such wonder is the Prasanna Virupaksha Temple, also known as the Patiala Ishwara Temple. This temple was buried underground for 300 years until it was uncovered in 1980. Interestingly, its ceiling is nearly at ground level, often covered in water from the river Tungabhadra. Despite the temple's dim interior and sometimes bats inside, unfortunately, the original Shiva Lingam seems to have been taken away. Not far from here, in the royal enclosure, there's another secret. An underground room located about a kilometer away. Experts think Hampi might have many other underground passages yet to be explored. Throughout Hampi's history, all forms of divine power were respected. Building temples wasn't just for kings, even regular people contributed. For example, the Badavilinga temple, dedicated to Shiva, has a lingam that's nearly 12 feet tall. Legend says this temple was built and blessed by a humble peasant woman. The temple is constantly flooded because a canal flows nearby. Known as the Ugra Narasimha Temple, it honors the Narasimha form of Lord Vishnu and stands next to the Badavilinga temple. Originally, there was a statue of goddess Lakshmi on top of the Ugra Narasimha statue, but it was destroyed, showing visible signs of damage in both temples by 1447. During this time, the Vijayanagara kingdom faced challenges from frequent attacks by the Bahmani sultans, who would occasionally raid and loot the kingdom. However, everything changed in 1509 when the 25-year-old Krishnadevaraya became the king of Vijayanagara. Known for his skill in battle, he led his armies personally and successfully defeated the sultans, bringing together many territories to expand the Vijayanagara Empire. Krishnadevaraya was not only a skilled warrior, but also deeply religious. He carried out extensive repairs of ancient temples and ordered the building of new ones. One of his notable building projects was the Vijaya Vithala Temple, famous for its detailed carvings, huge pillars, and a stone chariot that displayed the excellent skills of the craftsmen of that time. Another important temple he constructed was the Grand Hazara Rama Temple, decorated with intricate carvings showing scenes from the Ramayana epic. As visitors walk around the temple, they can see the whole story of the Ramayana through these carvings. The outer carvings of these temples show the people of Vijayanagara actively helping in the building process, along with elephants, a crucial part of the empire's construction and defense efforts. This bond between the city and its elephants continued to be important in Vijayanagara's history. Hampi was a busy center of trade that attracted people from all over the ancient world. When Domingo Paes, a Portuguese traveler, visited the Vijayanagara Empire in 1520, he was fascinated by Hampi. He described it in his writings as huge and stunning, as large as Rome. The city was filled with countless people, so many that Paes hesitated to even guess their number, afraid his report might seem unbelievable. Hampi flourished in a fertile area nourished by the Tungabhadra River, which had supported life here for ages. The Vijayanagara kings were careful in their management, using the river's power to create a remarkable irrigation system that ensured abundant harvests for their people. Paes admired Hampi's richness, noting its lush orchards and gardens with houses, all connected by a network of flowing water channels. He called it the best supplied city he had ever seen, stocked with plenty of provisions. Centuries later, agriculture remains the mainstay of this area. In about 1529 AD, Emperor Krishnadevaraya passed away due to illness, marking the beginning of Hampi's decline. By 1566, a coalition of Muslim sultanates joined forces and waged war against the Vijayanagara Empire. This pivotal conflict, known as the Battle of Talikota, saw several generals defecting to the opposing side. Ultimately, King Ramaraya was captured and executed, triggering the widespread destruction of Hampi's temples and infrastructure. The ancient city of Hampi, once adorned with intricately carved temples, secret passages, and advanced irrigation systems, fell victim to the ravages of time and war. Even stones in the river were adorned with artistic carvings, each telling a story from history. Despite enduring centuries of neglect and destruction, some of Hampi's majestic temples still stand proudly today. These resilient structures have weathered the storms of history, preserving fragments of their ancient secrets. Hampi was not only a hub of trade for horses, jewelry, and spices from around the globe, but also attracted visitors seeking marvels of its magnificent cityscape. After centuries of seclusion, Hampi once again emerges as a cultural crossroads, drawing travelers from both the east and the west. As always, what is known about Hampi represents just a fraction of its rich history, with countless mysteries waiting to be uncovered in its peaceful ruins. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. In a distant part of India, scientists found a huge structure buried deep underground. It all started with strange shaking readings that confused geologists. As they dug deeper, they uncovered enormous old walls made of a mysterious, shiny material that seemed to buzz with hidden energy. The find quickly caught global attention. Teams of scientists and archaeologists worked hard, putting together the structure's purpose and beginnings. Local stories whispered about a lost city of immense riches and advanced technology, but no one was ready for this. The structure, they learned, wasn't just a city, but a center of amazing innovations. There were complex rooms with glowing rocks that gave off a gentle warmth. Some thought they were power sources or healing tools. As they went deeper, they found a main room with a huge, perfectly kept machine. Its use remained a puzzle, covered with fancy signs and devices beyond any known technology. The find changed scientific knowledge and caused long debates. Could it be a sign from an old group or proof of alien contact? Let us know your answer in the comments section. Konark Sun Temple. Konark is a village about 66 kilometers from Bhubaneswar, the capital of Odisha. It's famous for its Sun Temple, a masterpiece of temple architecture in the Kalinga style of Odisha. The temple, known as Konark, reflects the kingdom of Odisha in the 13th century and is closely associated with Brahmin beliefs and the spread of the Surya cult from Kashmir to eastern India in the 8th century. Located on India's east coast, south of the Mahanadi Delta, the Brahmin Temple of Konark is one of Asia's most well-known sanctuaries. Visitors pass through a large gate guarded by two huge lions defeating war elephants, leading into the Hall of Offerings where sacred temple rituals were conducted. The temple is celebrated for its intricate stone carvings covering every part of its large structure, comparable to those found in Khajuraho. These carvings depict scenes from everyday life, including peace and war, men, women, children, and various animals. With detailed sculptures, including figures of love and intimacy, the temple combines sensual beauty with majestic splendor. It took 1,200 workers 12 years to build. Legend has it that the main architect, Basu Maharana, left his family to complete the temple. His son, born during this time, later joined and tragically sacrificed himself upon finishing the temple dome, which his father couldn't complete. Over time, the temple has decayed due to its proximity to the sea, monsoons, and overgrown vegetation. Neglected since 1573 AD, preservation efforts began in the early 20th century under British rule. They filled the interior with sand to prevent collapse, uncovered buried parts of the temple, and planted trees to protect it from erosion. The main temple, called the Vimana, has a curved tower, while the porch where worshippers gather, known as the Jagamohana, has a flat roof. The temple's architecture plays with light and shadow through its exterior design, creating a tall, continuous impression. Legends trace its origins back to the Puranic age, associating it with Samba, son of Lord Krishna, who built it to cure his leprosy. The design of the Konark Sun Temple, resembling a chariot, symbolizes the passage of time controlled by the sun god, with 12 pairs of finely carved wheels representing the months of the year. This architectural wonder marks the peak of Odisha's temple architecture, blending artistic brilliance with cultural importance. The fancy wheels on the north and south walls of the platform that hold the grand pita and record ales are a great example of detailed sculptural art. Each wheel has a middle part and 16 rods, half thick and half thin. These parts are decorated with detailed carvings showing different figures and designs, including gods like Asana, Asani, Surya, Vishnu, and his avatars. The rods of the wheels widen towards the center in a diamond shape and narrow towards the ends. They are carefully carved with swirls, flower patterns, vines, leaves, beaded strings, and stylized raised windows. Even the center of the wheel is decorated with carvings of gods like Krishna playing a flute, gopis, cows, Narasimha, and a king on an elephant. Also, there are carvings of scenes such as romantic poses, noblemen, praying men, royal carriages, musicians playing instruments, elephant riders, and hunting scenes. The temple walls are decorated with beautiful stone sculptures showing various subjects, including detailed depictions from the Kama Sutra. Above and below the wheels, carved panels show military marches and hunting scenes with rampaging elephants. Interestingly, there are African giraffes shown in the top panel along the south side of the platform, suggesting historical trade ties with Africa during the 13th century. Like many Indian temples, Konark has well-organized parts, including the main sanctuary, Vimana, with its tall tower, Sakara, which sadly was destroyed in the 19th century. To the east, the audience hall, Jaha Morgana, now stands out among the ruins with its pyramid shape. Despite being in ruins, the Sun Temple still has a majestic presence in the vast desert sands. It was built around 2050 AD to celebrate victory over Muslim invaders, and legends say it once had powerful magnets in its tower that made the king's throne appear to float. European sailors in the Bay of Bengal often used the tower as a landmark, calling the temple the Black Pagoda because of the many shipwrecks in the area. The temple was built using ashlar masonry, where each stone was carefully carved and smoothed to hide joints, held together with iron pins. 3 kinds of stones were used: condylite for temple structures, high-quality chlorite for door frames and sculptures, and laterite for the core of the temple and other structures. However, the durability of condylite has been challenged by weather and chemical changes over time, causing the temple to slowly decay. Efforts to preserve it have faced big challenges due to these factors. Next to the temple is a kitchen made of laterite stones, featuring a well lined with condylite slabs and decorated with a cobra-shaped low wall. The Sun Temple of Konark is a magnificent example of the artistic achievements of its time, designed to look like the mythical sun god's chariot drawn by 7 spirited horses. Its architecture and detailed decorations make it a unique marvel of ancient craftsmanship. Which of these megastructures discovered by scientists in India did you find the most intriguing? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section.